Good riddance to the debt ceiling. That's the subject of the riff. So, President-elect Trump is totally right, in my view. Get rid of the debt ceiling. Good riddance. Get rid of it altogether. Nobody pays any mind to it. It's never enforced. All it does is open the door to mischievous Democratic attempts to threaten government shutdowns if the Republicans don't cave in to all the trillions of dollars for Democratic ultra-liberal pork programs. And then, of course, they blame the GOP for the shutdown. And Mr. Trump is also right that he doesn't want to take office with a debt limit hanging over his new administration and preventing his tax cut and border closing initiatives. In fact, keeping the toothless debt limit will interfere with the entire policy agenda of the new president if he allows it to. Of course, that's why Democrats suddenly loved the debt ceiling. It has no meaning, but it throws a wet blanket over the fantastic Trump honeymoon that he's enjoying. Democratic leadership would love nothing more than to hold Mr. Trump's entire agenda hostage, even though the voters have just given Trump an enormous mandate to change policies, end Bidenomics, and move toward a new Trumpian era of peace and prosperity. And if you ever take a look at the howling about the debt ceiling, it all comes from liberal media and liberal politicians who never advocate for any spending restraints. Isn't that interesting? And in fact, in the current silly season debate over short-term government funding and the phony debt limit, even the mild pay-go requirement that was built into the last debt deal back in 2023 between then Speaker McCarthy and President Biden, even that has been thrown out the window. And there are no spending offsets to all the crazy spending increases embodied in the, fortunately, now defunct CR that went up in flames last night. You know, what kind of spending increases? Well, here's a couple. It's $100 billion disaster relief, which might be useful, but it's 10 times more than necessary. $31 billion in farm relief, way too much, I'm sorry. Massive new ethanol spending, way too much. The usual welfarist increases for food stamps and child care with no work requirements, as always. Another pro-football boondoggle bailout for the RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. A pay raise for Congress that might be justifiable, but it's the wrong moment for it. And then stuff that probably nobody knows about what it costs, like 70 pages of something called pandemic preparedness. That CR would have buried all the J6 committee records, kind of like a preemptive pardon for Liz Cheney. The only good news is that President Trump killed this continuing resolution. Hopefully he can kill the debt limit also. And it's also worth noting that Mr. Trump's getting a lot of help from Elon Musk in all these endeavors. And in only a short period of time, Elon has become a major political force, and it is a force for good. And he's being helped by his Doge brother, Vivek Ramaswamy, who put a sharp pencil to that profligate 1,500-page CR that fortunately got buried. Now, I'd like to see Elon team up with President Trump and kill the debt ceiling altogether. And then Mr. Trump and his whole team can embark on the new golden age, peace and prosperity, pressing on with their agenda to cut taxes, dismantle the regulatory state, seal the border, drill, baby, drill. Let's fatten wallets of blue-collar working folks rather than government politicians and bureaucrats. And that is the riff.